Welcome back to the podcast. Good to see you. Back again for another episode. If you guys aren't familiar, this is where me and Ari sit down. We do a quick little weekly podcast, all things Babs life. We bring topics to get my opinion on them, have a little banter back and forth. Then we have my regular episodes where I interview guests about their day-to-day lives, what makes them tick, their philosophy on life, how they live themselves for every day, hence the theme, LYFE. Please like and subscribe and tune in for more episodes. Happy to bring you some stuff. I got to tell you, before we start and get into some stuff, what a fucking week it's been.
Oh,
what a week it's been. And in the fucking greatest way possible, it's been a goddamn good week.
I have different opinions, but yeah.
Okay, well, it's been a bad week. Well, that's true. We'll get to that in a second. But sometimes, you know, someone's got to be down for somebody to be up.
Yeah. I'm just like, and I'm up.
And I'm going to be honest right now, we've had the other way around before, too. So
I'm like, I had a great ass week. Yeah. You're like, fuck you.
I'm like, I was cheated on. Could you not remind me? No, but no, it's been a good week. New job stuff, podcast taking off. John Summit pop-up.
Oh, I heard it popped off.
Pop-up popped off.
Yeah.
Pop it up, poppity pop off.
What a pop-up at Red Rocks. That's not a pop-up.
That is a crazy
that is a John
thing.
Summit level pop-up.
And he played for 5 hours.
That's crazy.
Insane. The man's on top of the world right now. All the power to him.
Did he ever leave the stage?
One time.
He
had, I'm sure, probably man had a piss. Yeah, he had someone come on and sing, and he was like, play, and he ran down. Yeah, I'm sure he did. John Summit on top of the world. Congrats, all the power to you. Keep it up. All right, what we got? Let's get into this.
All right. So don't judge me if I butcher this name.
Yeah.
It's Russian, okay? Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky, okay?
Yeah. He says that every self-betrayal is a sin, and that whenever you go against your nature, your body makes a point to remind you.
What a powerful quote. Every time you... Just read it again.
Every self-betrayal is a sin. Whenever you go against your nature, your body makes a point to remind you. So basically it's saying that like whenever you do something that you know is not something that you would do and like it's against your nature, that your body is going to react to that.
I mean, I honestly 1,000% agree with this. I've had such a switch up in the last 2 years where it's like, I think you should do the things you want to do. Again, I don't think you should be, I've always said this, you should be aggressively selfish about yourself, but not be a dick about things. And it bleeds into everything. People think it's like weird, but like you should do this with small things at first, and you'll build up these wins, and then you'll be able to do it with bigger things that you want to do and things that you don't want to do. And you're going to feel better because you're just doing things that you want to do. Now I'm taking this on a very simplistic level of like, I want to do this. I don't want to do that, which is where we'll start with it. But it goes very deep to the level of like, you're in a relationship and you don't like something. You can give someone the benefit of that once, but then if they show you again and you keep letting it happen, then you're betraying yourself. So there's like levels to this, but it's true at every level. So when we dissect it a little bit here at the basic level of just like doing the thing you want to do or not do, you don't want to go to a dinner. Okay. You don't want to go. It's coming up. You're like, I don't want to go to this dinner.
Right.
You go to the dinner. Now, sometimes you got to tough it up and go. Okay. If it's a loved one or something like that, you got to tough it up and go. But let's just say it's like a dinner with like 5 friends. It's nothing crazy. And you just kind of have a gut feeling the day over. You're like, I just don't really want to go. Honestly, you should listen to that gut feeling. And you know what I'm talking about. You know, person listening, like there is a gut feeling where you're like, I just don't think that that's the thing I want to do. Right. And that's okay. And you need to start listening to that because when you listen to it on the small things, again, it's just going to compound. You're going to be able to listen to it on the bigger things and the bigger things. And then it's going to come to the point where your gut is telling you things that you're going to start realizing things before they even happen.
Right.
You're going to start feeling energy shifts in people because you're like, something's up. And it's just going to build more and more. And the key to like that happy life is this thing right here. Because again, it just compounds more and more into where you're so in tune with yourself that like it just things deflect off you, like things that aren't meant for you deflect off you because you're not betraying yourself. So again, it starts with like a small thing. Like for instance, I love my buddy to death, but he wanted me to go on a sunset drive the other night. And I did want to go on one at first. And then like an hour or so later, as I was thinking about it more and the day was going on, I was like, I just don't really want to go. I don't really want, like, I have things at home I need to do. I need to do some clips for the podcast. And then somebody invited me to go get cigars later that night. And I was like, I kind of want to, I said I would get cigars with them this week. I didn't know it was going to be tonight, but now I still want to go.
Right.
And so I just kind of told him, I think I'm going to pass tonight. And I had a great time at the cigar thing. He ended up not, he go, oh yeah, actually it's cloudy. We're not going to even go. So don't worry about it. But like, I had this whole thing for like an hour. I was like, I don't want to say no to him because I feel bad because I haven't seen him in a minute, but also I don't want to go do this thing.
Right.
And the other thing with this too is, which your friends do kind of matter with this, I will say, I think, but I think at the same time, they will understand or they won't. And that's also kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're not betraying yourself and you're just being true to yourself, you're going to attract, again, when you talk about things just like deflecting off of you, you're going to attract the people that are in your life and should be in your life.
And that want to be in your life.
And will understand that sometimes you don't want to go do things or this or that, and vice versa for them. You should be just as understanding of that because you have that same mentality. Right. So you're going to attract people that are going to fit what you need. And everyone else that is either going to disrupt your peace or cause you to potentially betray yourself and cause issues is going to just like go to the wayside. And you're going to get rid of a lot of like toxic people and stuff out of your life too, honestly. Right. I love that. I love that to its core. I think that so many people do live that life where they like kind of betray themselves or they just do something, casually. Again, let's take it the reverse side. They might do something very small. But then that can also compound on the back end where they're betraying themselves more and more and more. And then they get to this dark pit of despair thing. And then they are constantly fucking up their life. It's a cycle so they can't get out of it. Like it's just as bad the opposite way as it is the way that we want you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it really locks in on like the whole point of this podcast of like live yourself for every day is that you need to be true to you. And like, sometimes you just don't want to. And like, I think one of the biggest things that I've had to learn was like, sometimes you don't need a reason. Like you don't ever need a reason.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. If your gut's there, just don't do it.
You're just like, I don't want to. Like the real people in your life that love you and respect you for who you are, they're going to be like, okay, no worries. Like you could just be like, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like I have no excuse. I want to go home and sit with my cat and hang out and eat taquitos all night long.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do.
And again, like, they're going to respect it. They're going to kind of go, okay, fuck yeah. All right.
Right.
When you move, that's like, it's such a different subject, but it revolves around this. Like when you move for yourself and you move in this like way of they talk about like confidence and swagger.
Right.
It's really just like you being you.
Right.
And just people, because that's like so rare when someone's just like them and like being themselves that like people are like, what is going on over there?
Right.
But like, that's all it is. Right. It's like, you're just like, no, this is me.
Right.
And I'm just doing me.
But it's like, it's really attractive and not in like like I find you attractive kind of way, but like a
energy way. Yeah. You can't explain it. Yeah. You know what I'm like, everyone, again, and people listening know there's some, like you run into some people every once in a while and you go, they got something going on.
They're just
they got something going on and I can't put my finger on it, but I love it.
I love it. It's kind of mysterious. And like, yeah.
And they feel it. And you feel that too with people and they feel it about you when you're living yourself to the max.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like this topic also, when we're shifting from talking about friendships to like relationships, like in a personal matter, like when you go against your nature and what's right for you, your body makes a point to remind you.
Yeah.
Is that like I was dating this girl for like 9 months and it was awful. I wanted to break up with her 3 months in and just didn't have the heart to do so.
Okay.
But like my body started rejecting her completely.
Yeah.
To the point that I got the flu 4 times in 9 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I in the bathroom throwing up like every 4 weeks, like 5 weeks? Like what is going on? Why am I getting so sick? And like literally have not gotten sick since I've been, I got the cold one time, but
no,
the fact that I got the flu 4 times in 9 months.
You're kind of hitting on that too. Like when you betray yourself too, at that sense, like you're disrupting everything.
Right.
And it creates, what it really does is it creates stress. And then the stress like weakens you in every mental, physical, immune wise capacity a little bit. And you're just dragging and you're constantly like, it's just like lingering on you. Like you got the ball and chain that you're constantly pulling with you. And you don't have to live like that. Like it's so freeing to just be yourself to the max and not have any problems and or not that you don't have problems, my bad, but like just like being yourself, like just again, things just like ricochet off you.
Right.
And you're like that, well, all right.
Yeah.
Like again, like you gotta live true to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, my life and I like the Bab's life. So I talk about my life.
His life is chaotic,
like,
by the way.
It was
didn't know that.
chaotic pretty recently.
Yeah.
And so like there was a situation where I was talking to a lovely lady and I was just kind of like, and she said something to me in my head. I didn't say anything at first because there's also a thing about like, you don't have to rush in anything. Yeah. And I remember thinking in my head, I was like, initial thought, I was like, I don't like that.
Right.
But let me sit on it for a couple days and get my thoughts. So I'm not like reacting emotionally charged. And then when it came down to it, I was like, it was bothering me for a couple days. You saw me, I talked to you about it.
I don't like it.
And I was like, that's at its core. I just don't like it.
Right.
Like, and I was like, I'm going to have to say something.
Right.
Because it's just not me to ignore it and live it. And when I ignored it for those couple days, it messed with me for I'd wake up like a little anxious, I'd be overthinking, blah, blah, blah. But then
right.
I said it. I said what I needed to say. And I've been like, fucking cloud nine ever since, baby.
Yeah, you've been having a good time. Well, and that's the thing is like sometimes like when we're talking, like, and you're like, I just have this feeling like there's not so much that I can say to you. I mean, because like I can give you advice and I can give you like my thoughts on it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like you're like, I still don't like it. And I'm like, all right, then you got to follow your gut.
You got to follow your gut. You got to follow your gut. And I want to get on this a little bit because it's so important. And I think somewhere along the lines of like growing up, parents, friends, mentors, like you at times don't trust your gut a little bit. And you gotta come back around and get to your gut. It's such a vital thing to go through life. It tells you so much that you don't realize.
Right.
And it knows before.
Oh yeah.
It knows before your brain catches up. I was dating this girl a while back, and I tell this story. I tell this story. You know it, and some other people know it. I tell this story because I swear to God, like it was like the first time I was like looking back, and I'm like, my gut was like spot fucking on. I never figured out why, but then like looking back, I'm like, well, my gut was right about that, and it protected me.
Right.
And now I'm like, well, I'm gonna trust my gut on everything else going forward,
right?
With anything, because it was just like a moment of like clarity where I was like, that shit was like spot fucking on. 2 or 3 days before it fucking happened.
Right.
I was like, something's fucking up. I don't know. And I freaked out. And I did have to calm myself. No, you're just overthinking. Something's wrong. Then 3 days later, I was like, yo, gut was right.
Exactly
there was some fuck shit happening. Yeah. There was some weird shit. And it is, and again, like everyone can think about a situation like that. Your relationship's a very easy one for everyone to relate to. At some point in your life, doesn't necessarily mean infidelity, just something with your gut was like, something's going on with this person. It might even just been like you had a healthy relationship and you all of a sudden, 6 months in, you're like, something's up.
Yeah.
I'm feeling an energy shift. And then they break up with you like a week later.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything crazy happened, but it's like your gut telling you like something's up, man. And you gotta kind of, what is that? And it takes time to like sit with it and figure it out. Because most people like get that gut feeling.
Right.
And they don't want to sit with it because it does bring a level of like anxiety. Like the first wave is like an overthinking wave. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? And then you like kind of calm to it and you're like, okay, so I was freaking out about this and this. And then you can kind of think about, well, why am I freaking out about this? And then you can kind of work through it. And in your gut will either be spot on or it might be right a little bit lighter but like it is a weird thing that most people like kind of try to push away.
Right.
Because you know the answer and sometimes you don't want to admit that answer.
Right.
That's something you gotta work through. That's like fear. That's a whole nother thing. We're going to get on a long tangent about shit, but like, yeah.
Yeah. And like, I think one of the things that I've been working on in the past couple of months is like really, like you said, following my gut, but also being willing to like kind of go straight at your issues and like confront them.
Yes.
Rather than like pushing them down, and just like say what you need to say and like get it off your chest and like say it with your chest.
Yeah.
And like, whether this pisses somebody off or it makes somebody upset, like this is how I'm feeling and this is what my gut is telling me. So this is what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And you may lose friendships. You may lose like people that you thought were going to be like ride or dies till the end.
Yeah.
But ride or dies till the end will respect the fact that like, you're like, this is how I feel and this is what I need. And if you can't give that to me, like I'll go find it somewhere else.
Yeah. Again, it's so like, it's the opposite of what most people think. It's like, you're like, I'm going to offend people. Like, no, you're going to lose to people that cannot meet you at your level.
Right.
You be you. Don't not be you.
Right.
And then you tell them like, well, this is the level I'm at. And I have people that are at this level already. And I would love for you to be there. You don't word it like that, but that's how you have to, that's how you have to interpret in your head. I'm at this level. I have people there right now.
Right.
I want you with me. And if you don't want to be there, that's okay too. That's what really fucks people up.
Right.
When you tell them like, it's okay. And they're like,
If
what?
you don't want to.
And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's okay?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be heartbroken.
Right. Well, and like there's a certain
be devastated
level of
without my
like being devastated, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop, living my life, and like, you can't.
Can't.
You just
The world keeps moving with or without you, so you might as well live your life.
Yeah. If you can't take the heat, get
Quote
out of the
it.
kitchen.
Quote it. Put me in the books with Socrates.
Anyways, yeah. Okay, so
And to go full circle, you said something about like being honest and stuff like that, or being honest with yourself and admitting those things. That applies. This applies to that too.
Right.
If you are not honest with yourself, you're betraying yourself.
Right.
Again, it's just a different level than what we were talking about earlier. There's like friendship level. There's level of I don't want to go to dinner, but then there's like deep core level of like I'm lying to myself all the time.
Right.
And therefore now I'm betraying myself all the time on a spiritual level.
Right.
So there's that too, which we did talk about. So
Yeah.
full circle moment there. I wanted to close the loop.
You're good. All right. So I've got a question for you.
Ready.
Let me pull it up.
We got one lovely gentleman writing in, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So he says, long story short, my life is a mess. So I go online looking for answers. I found the Babs Life podcast and just wanted to write in. I'm 35, single, not a ton of friends, no career, no money, no nothing. The only thing that I have is a lot of free time. He talks about like weightlifting and group hobbies. And because he's at home a lot, he eats home cooked meals, so he's got his health. What he wants is like, a family and kids and things like that. And he wants it sooner than later. But to be able to have a family and kids, he's got to be financially stable. But he's been online and seeing videos on TikTok and YouTube in a similar situation, and talking about how women want a financially stable guy at his age, and that you can't be picky. Basically, like you got to pick whichever girl's coming to you and like willing to settle for you. That's basically what he's saying.
Okay.
And literally feels like they are knocking me further down when they're already down, but I can't help to agree with them. I'm doing my best to ignore these negative thoughts, but can't help it when it's true and applies to me. And change takes time and a lot of discipline. And I'm just panicking and stressing, knowing I screwed up my life and everyone else is living a great life.
Okay, there's a couple things to unpack here. I mean, I'll start with a sympathy here with you, sir. It's like there is a level of thought that I think every man has that is around this. Like there are moments where I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, fuck, I'm not where I want to be yet. Yeah. And there is a lot of that. I think that's normal. I think it's very normal for a man. I can't speak for women. I don't know if they have that probably in different categories. Maybe it's with the family or, something of that nature. But men have that when it comes to like financial and like their career and stuff. I think a lot more, at least in the past, that's how it definitely was. So there's that. I think that is a normal thing that can occur and does occur. And hopefully that gives you some solace in knowing that. That being said, I think one of the main things here too is like, first off, don't go online. Don't, unless it's this show, don't go online for like whatever. I don't know what you were watching to like see, like, am I alone in this similar position? And then it shows similar position. And then I don't know, there's a way to use the internet that can get you out of the position you're in. And there's a way to use the internet that can make you feel like you're inadequate. Right. What I'm trying to say is filter your feed as best as possible to things that are going to help you and get you out of it and moving progressively forward instead of things that are making you feel bad about yourself, because there's both sides of the internet. You got to get out of that. Now, that being said, you're 35. It's not, I think another thing with this too is like the idea is like you're old and you're like, I'm behind and this and that. And I mean, society likes to put that label like you're behind at that age. I think the reality is like you're only as behind as you make yourself feel.
Yeah.
And again, that, you know, that's a mindset shift there. But like at the end of the day, like what is it that you want? You can go get it. Tomorrow you can wake up and literally just change your entire life and personality. Like if you just decide, if you mentally, you go jump in a freezing lake and you get out and you go, I'm just a happy, funny guy now. And then you wake up the next 30 days and go, I'm a happy, funny guy. You're going to be a happy, funny guy by the end of those 30 days. And it sounds so crazy. And I know that's like, voodoo magic stuff, blah, 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 blah. Like people hate to hear that, but like your mindset is what's going to determine where you're going and stuff. So you're worried about like women and like, I need to be financially, like, you know, I need to be financially be able to support a family and this and that. And it's like, that's true. I think that's definitely a burden men think about. But at the same time, it's 2026. I mean, there are plenty of women out there in the world. There's at least 4 billion. Someone's going to love you, man. And I think the other thing with this too is it's like women have dated men in all categories of wealth and levels of wealth forever. Yeah. I mean, there's been peasant fathers with peasant mothers that are married, they're peasant husband and wife. That hasn't changed. So I don't know if, you know, again, if this is like your Instagram feed showing you like hot models, like, and you're seeing them like travel the world and go to Dubai. And it's like, yeah, no shit. That might be fucking depressing because you're not fucking flying them out.
Right.
And I get it, but like, you got to get that shit off your feed, homie.
Yeah.
Fucking get it off, dude. Like that's, you know, that's the only thing I can really tell you is like, and then the other thing is like, there's other ways. As a guy, I will be honest and say that like, I have that same exact thought. I'm not making enough money to have a girlfriend.
And that's so fucked up.
But I deserve love, and so do you, is what I'm going to get at here. And for the record, like, there's plenty of other ways to get a lady besides money. I mean, I think it maybe gets harder as the age goes on. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but like, if you got funny and your wits and you got... This goes back to our conversation. If you're just you got the fucking
good looking like Babs.
It's hard to be this good looking. So I wish you the best, sir. But like, there's things to go back to this. It's like you could also just be yourself, man. Be your fucking self. And own it and
do it for yourself.
And do it for yourself. And that's gonna attract someone that finds that attractive.
Yeah,
just gonna happen to you. Yeah. I don't got much more advice than that. I think we nailed it.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head.
I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Yeah, good luck, my friend. That's all I got for you.
Carry on, soldier.
and watch us this week.
And watch us this next week again. Like and subscribe to the podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
It stopped. Oh, it didn't stop. Yeah, it did. Oh no, it didn't. Sorry, you're gonna.